We are now well into the fall season, and many trees are beginning to lose their leaves for the winter. One exception, however, is the beech tree, which is the tree we will be learning about this week. From a distance, the leaves on a beech tree might remind you of the leaflets that you'd see on a hickory tree. But there's an important difference. On a beech tree, we have individual leaves that are attached to the branches. These are simple leaves, compared to a hickory tree, which has compound leaves. Like the oak tree, the leaves on a beech tree are longer than they are wide. Also, like the oak leaf, the main vein on a beech leaf runs the entire length of the leaf, with secondary veins that branch off the main vein and go off to the sides. This is unlike the maple, where all the main veins start from the same central point. The leaves of the beech tree look very similar to those of the sweet birch tree, which also grows in this area. The beech is there on your right, the birch is on your left. The way to tell them apart is by first looking at the veins. You'll notice on the beech leaf, the secondary veins go right to the edge of the leaf, and where they meet the edge of the leaf, there's a little point, a little bump that sticks out. The space between the veins, the edge there, is smooth, so we have kind of a scalloped edge there that's smooth except for the bumps made by the veins, or the points made by the veins there. With the birch tree, the veins again go all the way to the edge of the leaf, but if you look between the veins, the edge is very jagged and toothed. So we would call this a toothed edge, whereas this we might call a scalloped edge or a serrated edge. The big difference being between the veins on the beech, it's smooth, and between the veins on the birch, it's quite jagged and toothed. One other difference that's not as obvious, but both leaves have very short stems, but if you look at the stem of the beech tree, it's even shorter than the stem of the birch. In fact, if you look at a beech branch, it looks like the leaves are almost directly attached to the branch. There's hardly any stem between the leaf and the branch. Even though their leaves look very similar to beech leaves and several other trees, it's actually quite easy to tell a beech tree from other trees if you look at the entire tree and know what to look for. One of the things to look for are these points that you see coming off the branches here. They look almost like thorns or spikes. These first start appearing in the fall, and they will continue to grow throughout the winter. Even after all the leaves have fallen off the tree, you'll see these pointy things here. We call them bayonets in a way. They'll continue to grow and get to be about perhaps 1.5 inches long. These so-called spikes or thorns are actually leaf buds. These are the beginning of next year's leaves. The easiest way, however, to recognize a beech tree is by its very distinctive bark. The bark is light gray in color and very smooth. Now, the red maple, when it's this young, also has bark that looks like this. However, the thing that makes the beech stand out is, even as the tree gets older, the bark stays very light in color and very, very smooth. The bough of a mature beech tree looks almost like the leg of an elephant. This is very, very distinctive, and no other mature trees in this area has bark like this. The beech tree is the last tree we will look at this year. Fall is here. Many trees have lost their leaves already, and it's going to make it harder to ID them. You can hear the incredibly annoying sound of a gas-powered leaf blower in the background. So we'll stop with this tree here, the magnificent American beech, and maybe pick this up again in the spring with some other trees that grow in this area.